In this free Claude 3.7 course, you're going to learn how to build like an AI genius. Now, Claude is one of the most powerful models that's ever been released. You can see, for example, Claude can even play. It can generate a Minecraft prompt for you, like you can see right here I did with one single prompt, create a Minecraft clone. It can even create like self-playing Snake games that actually look 10 times better when I've tested out versus Claude and other different AIs. Now we'll come later on to how to build with it, how to use it, how to leverage it for coding, websites, tools, apps, games, whatever you want to build with it, and many different ways you can get access to it, including some free ways to get access to it and how it compares versus other models. But if we look at the benchmarks right here, you can see that Claude 3.7 Sonnet outperforms many of the other models, but it is also free and they have a free plan. So for example, if you compare it versus OpenAI 1 or OpenAI 3 Mini, DeepSeek R1, etc., Grok 3, it's beating these other models in many other benchmarks. They've also released a Claude code agent that can basically code for you directly on your terminal. This is like an agentic coding tool that lives in your terminal. It can code, it can build stuff, it can search through your files. Now, the other thing is that Claude can actually just run your browser. So you can see here, for example, our AI agent is just using the browser. I'll show you how to set up this stuff later in the video. And I'm gonna also walk you through the best ways to use it, right? So for example, if I'm trying to create content, like you can see right here, I really like just using the main chat, which is available at Claude.ai. Really good for creating content. I'll show you some of my best prompts later in this free course. If you want to create like AI agents, then NA10 is really good for this. You can see, for example, here we've got a chat message. When that triggers, we create the AI agent that can send emails on our behalf. And this is connected to Claude 3.7 Sonnet. I'll show you how to set this up, plus more complicated stuff later. But if we say, for example, okay, send an email to juliangoldie@gmail.com, telling him the free course is ready for Claude 3.7 Sonnet. All right, what it's going to do, as you can see, is using our AI agent here. Again, I will show you how to set these up later in the video, and then it's going to send the email, like you can see right here, and it will just figure out, okay, what's the best message to send, what's the subject line, etc. And then if we go over to Gmail, you can see that we've got the free course message right here. So it says, "Hi Julian, I wanted to let you know about the free Claude 3.7 course that's currently available. Here's what it does, etc. Let me know if you're interested. I can send you some information about it," right? And it can just go off and fire off emails for you like a personal assistant, but way faster. Now, if you want really linear workflows, then I would recommend going to scenarios inside make.com. And inside here, you can actually create linear workflows from start to finish like this. And instead of using Grok, you would set up OpenRouter, which I'll show you how to do later in this video. So let's get into the free course. The new Claude 3.57 update is absolutely insane. I'm going to be talking you through it today. This is the most intelligent model to date from Anthropic. It just got announced a few hours ago, and it also comes with hybrid reasoning, right? So it can produce near instant results as well as extended step-by-step thinking. You can see some examples of it right here, and this could be absolutely insane. On top of that, they're also releasing an agentic coding tool called Claude Code. We'll come on to that later. If you want to get access to it, it's available at Claude.ai. You don't have to pay for this. It is free. They do have a premium pricing plan, but if you want to get it for free and just test it out with the limits, then you just select Claude 3.7 Sonnet from Claude AI. Now, this also comes with a token context window, computer use as well. You can also get the API for it as well on top of that, so you can actually code with it and build stuff and automate things with it. Now, if you're wondering, okay, what are the use cases and how does this work? So Claude 3.7 Sonnet can understand nuanced instructions and context, recognize and correct certain mistakes, and create sophisticated analysis and insights from complex data, combined with state-of-the-art coding, vision, and writing skills. And so it has pretty much everything you can think of when it comes to using a model. On top of that, you've got code generation, so it can create code. It can actually use computer use. So if you integrate the Claude API, you can actually direct Claude to use computers the way you would. It's also great for creating your own tools and custom prompts because you can upload a lot of knowledge to it, because it has such a large context window of 200k tokens and low rates of hallucination. It's really good for like knowledge Q&As. It can analyze data, and you can see the key benchmarks here. So this is Claude 3.7 Sonnet versus Claude 3.5 Sonnet versus OpenAI 01, DeepSeek R1, and Grok 3 Beta. And you can see here that it's actually outperforming on many different levels the newest models from OpenAI, right? So OpenAI scored 79.7 on the high mode, whereas 3.7 Sonnet has got 84.8%. Now, one of the biggest differences here is that this has a different philosophy from other reasoning models, right? So like a human, with your brain, you can reflect deeply, but you can also answer things quickly as well if you need to. This is very similar to Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So it can do deep thinking, but it can also answer questions quickly as well, depending on the use case and the situation. So let's test this out. So if you want to get started with this, go to Claude. Then you're going to select Claude, and that's Claude 3.7 Sonnet. You can choose your style, but we'll stick with the normal one for now. And we'll use a prompt that I often use for writing content. All right, so we'll take this content right here. This is a prompt that we use for creating SEO articles, and we'll plug that into Claude 3 Sonnet, and we'll see how that performs. So it's doing its magic. It's got the canvas, which is what Claude usually has. So it's coming up with a canvas on the right hand side, and we'll compare that versus Claude 3.5 Sonnet, right? So the previous model that came out in October 2024. So we'll use exactly the same prompt and we'll compare them side by side. So we've got the article back from Claude 3.7 right now. Let's check the word count. So that's coming out at 918 words, nicely formatted, reads very nicely, very humanized. It's done exactly what we've asked it to do, and it's looking pretty good. If we compare that to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, let's check that out. So you can see here the older model, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which was up till yesterday the best model in the world for writing humanized content, that only came out at 491 words. So you can see a big difference between them. Same prompt, different outputs. The style of writing is very similar, to be fair. Like the writing itself, I wouldn't say there's a huge difference in how it's been written, even the last title in both. So this is 3.5 and this is 3.7. And you can see here that the title is pretty much the same. However, the length of the content is much longer when it comes to 3.7 Sonnet. Now let's test it out for coding. So I'm going to open up a new chat inside Claude 3.7. We'll start a new chat here. And I'm going to say, turn this into an awesome one-page landing page, CTA throughout. Here's the link. Here's all the information that you need to include, etc. And then we'll hit enter and we'll see what that generates, right? So this is basically creating like a one-page landing page for a website about AI automation, a new service that we're launching for clients. And it's really fast. Now, one thing I want to do as well is I'm going to compare this side by side with Claude 3.5. And by the way, if you want all the prompts from today, link will be inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. And if you want to go back to any of the old models, just click the drop down and then go to more models, and then you can choose 3.5 Sonnet right there. Now, we've got the output back from 3.7, which we've loaded on the model here. Gonna be 100% honest with you. Look at this. So if we open this up, that is not looking great at all, right? You've got white text on a white background. That's not a good sign. We scroll down, okay, does this link to the right place? Absolutely. It's created a landing page. I wouldn't say it's the best landing page I've ever seen. So it's pretty basic right there for coding. For content writing, it seems to be a lot more impressive. What we can actually do is we can copy these artifacts. So once you actually build a piece of code or a tool inside Claude, you can publish it and then you can grab the link for artifacts. Now, if we compare side by side, this is the page from 3.7 Sonnet and this is the page from 3.5 Sonnet. Which one looks better? Honestly, I'm going to say that 3.5 Sonnet is a lot better by a long way, right? So the number one, you can actually read the text. That helps. If we scroll down, the font here is a lot nicer on 3.5 Sonnet, which is interesting. And then if we scroll down here as well, just this bit here is similar. But yeah, side by side, I'm going to go with 3.5 Sonnet on that one. And again, like what coding model would use white background with white text? That does not make sense to me when it comes to UI. So for humanized writing, it's really good. For actually coding landing pages, doesn't seem to be great. But I think the best way to use this is you would actually go onto something like Visual Studio Code. You can download that for free. Then you're going to use something like Klein. And inside Klein, you can actually go to the settings. I've got other videos on that if you want to learn about it. And once it's available, you would select 3.5 Sonnet. Doesn't seem to be available on the API just yet. But if we switch over to Open Router, like you can see right here, we can select Claude 3.7 Sonnet inside the settings. We can go done on that. That's going to be using 3.7 Sonnet. And then if we open up a new chat, we use exactly the same prompt and see what we get instead. All right, so we're going to plug this in. The code is being generated now. Seems pretty fast, to be fair, when it's creating the process. And would you like me to proceed? We'll just say yes. And by the way, if you're not sure how to set this up, let me show you exactly how to set up Visual Studio Code so you can start building with it. So you go to code.visualstudio.com. You can download this for free. Then from there, inside Visual Studio Code, you go to extensions, install Klein, right? Klein is free also. And then you navigate to Klein, and inside the settings, go to OpenRouter, select the model as 3.7 Sonnet. If you're not sure how to set up OpenRouter, you go to openrouter.ai, sign in, grab an API key from here, and then you'll get access to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, like you can see. Seems pretty cheap as well, so that's cost us 5 cents so far to build out this project, and it's building out the final CTA now. So I'm excited to see what we get back. Hopefully it's better than the output from Claude. It can only be better than this, right? And then you can switch between plan and act mode inside Climb, right? So plan mode is like where you plan the whole website, and then act mode is where it will actually start coding out the project. So if we open this up, you can see it's now coding the files inside our project, and all we did was just literally just give it one prompt. The other cool thing about Claude is like it can actually preview pages inside the chat. So you can actually look at the website, preview it, and then self-iterate on that, kind of like a coding agent, which is super good. In the meantime, whilst that's coding out, let me show you some other stuff. So Claude 3.7 Sonnet is now available in Cursor as well. Here's a tool built by McKay Wrigley. So they actually built their own SaaS store, Saasify, like you can see right here with Next.js. That looks pretty cool. Here's another one that's super interesting. Look at this, 3D microtonal music visualization. Pretty amazing that you can build that. And again, anything you build, you can actually share. Now, if you look at the agentic coding evaluation, so 3.7 Sonnet is far above 3.5. O1 is all the way down here. DeepSeek R1 is even further behind, and then GPT-4o is down there too. So let's come back to our project inside Visual Studio Code. Look at this. We've got a nicely organized landing page. This is the difference between coding directly inside the chat on Claude 3.7 Sonnet and just building inside Klein, where you get much better results. So this is the same prompt, but a totally different landing page. And the results, that link works perfectly to the nicely designed. I think you could make the design even nicer, but you get the point. And you can see here it walks people through our AI time machine process. By the way, if you do want to book in a call about this, link in the comments description. And also the bonuses, it's added like nice emojis, the value, etc. That is so much nicer than it was previously. Like it looks way, way better. If you compare it versus this was terrible, but with coding inside Visual Studio Code, we built out a much nicer landing page. I think the content itself as well is pretty decent. Like it reads nicely, 700 words on the landing page. That would probably convert if you send traffic to it. And the API seems really fast too. So you can see here it says, task completed. I've created a landing page that includes professional design, responsive layout, key sections, the navigation menu, hero bar, multiple CTAs, and then also the hover effects and gradient on the backgrounds and everything else. And it opened that up automatically inside Visual Studio Code. So really impressive, like for the coding too. Just make sure that you're using the right process, right? So if you're going to create content, go inside the chat. If you're going to be coding, I would recommend you use a coding agent like Visual Studio Code paired with Klein, and then just add OpenRouter to the settings. But yeah, really cool stuff. Also, if you want training on how to set up Klein, how to use Klein 3.4, how to run MCP servers with Claude and Klein, then we have tons of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom, so feel free to get that, link in the comments description, along with all the prompts from today. Let's test something else out now. So we'll just say build a self-playing snake game, just to keep it simple and see what it can do. The good thing about this as well is normally if you have a reasoning model, it's really slow to reply, and it's in thinking mode for ages. This just seems to come back to us straight away. And also, here's the other thing, is if you compare this versus Grok, if you go inside Grok and you ask it to do exactly the same thing, so build a self-playing snake game, right? We'll ask it to do that. Grok doesn't have a canvas option. So it's going to create the code, which is awesome and it's super fast, but you can't preview it unless you set up the Python code and run that on another system, right? Whereas, for example, inside Claude, this will just build it out straight away. And if you hit start, so that looks really cool. Like the process was incredibly easy. We just said build a self-playing snake game and it just went off and did it. And the design is pretty nice on that too. If we compare that to something like Grok, which is probably the closest thing, we're going to run that on Trinket.io with the Python code. So you can just plug in Python code here and run it directly. And we'll hit run. We'll see whether that works. It's just a lot more fiddly, right? And also look at the UI of this versus the UI of this, right? Which one looks nicer? So for me, for building out games, Claude inside the chat is really good. For writing human content, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is 10 times better than Claude 3.5, which was already good. And then for coding, just use something like Client as well. Now, if we actually say to Client, okay, the UI of the page, I just want to see if Claude 3.7 Sonnet can preview pages in the same way that 3.5 Sonnet can do. So also one thing to be careful of as well is like when you switch from think, plan to act mode, make sure that you have 3.7 beta selected right there as well. And then one thing I want to check here is like preview the UI of the page and self-iterate on it. And I want to see if Claude can actually preview the page because 3.5 Sonnet can, and it can use browser use and everything else. I want to see if the beta version can as well. Let's see if it can. I'm not sure that it can because usually what you would get from Claude is like a preview image inside the chat here. If you could actually look at the UI and improve it. Whereas it just seems to be able to launch it in your browser, which any API can do. The other thing as well, if we zoom out here, we're like, okay, let's take a screenshot of this. Then we're going to go over to Claude again, and that snake is getting really long now. And we'll start a new chat, and I'll say, okay, clone this. This is my website. And it can basically, because it's a multimodal model, and because it has access to vision, and it can preview images, like the one we just uploaded inside the chat, you can actually say, just clone this, and it will build out the same page inside the artifacts feature, and you get all the code, plus you get the preview of it as well. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all of the prompts and the SOP from today, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. You get access to all of our best tutorials on email and content automation, social media automation and videos, AI automation workflows and agents, etc. This is all inside here. And if you go inside the SOP section, where the new section called Claude 3.7 Sonnet, the prompts from today will be inside there along with an SOP. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. This also comes with my best workflows on like NA10 agents. It's got a 3.5-hour course on DeepSeek. It shows you how to build like autonomous Gemini agents that can just go off and write emails for you and everything else. And also comes with a community of 100 members who you can ask for advice, right? So if you have any questions, just post in the community. We're happy to help you. You can see we all jump in to help people as well. And additionally, this comes with weekly Q&A calls with us, right? So if you want to jump on a weekly Q&A call with me, we've actually got one happening tomorrow. So if you sign up today, you can get access to that. You can jump on the call with me tomorrow, as well as getting instant access to all the prompts, SOPs, and my best AI agent workflows. Top of that, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to put that link in the comments description. On link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan custom tailored to your business. You will discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors to link building, and how to turn SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Today, we're going to run through how to build anything that you want using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and I'm going to be guiding you through some of the best ways to use this. So if you want to actually use it for free, you can get access at claude.ai, and then from here, you can, for example, start building out anything that you want, right? So for example, if I'm like, build a to-do list app, it will just start going off and coding it. But not just apps. So if we actually open up a new window here, I actually built Minecraft in one click. Pretty crazy. So if we open up here, I literally just said create a Minecraft clone. And you can see here, we can just jump around, look around, have a cheeky gander. And that was super easy to build because literally all we did was we said create a Minecraft clone. And then it was like, yeah, I'm happy to do that, mate. Let's go off and do that. So if we come back to our to-do list app, you can see here as well, we can add that to the list and then we're good to go. If something's not working, so for example, when we click add here, it's not working. So we can just say inside Claude here, the button to add is not working, troubleshoot it, plus make the design much more modern. Now it's redoing the code and it's pretty quick, to be fair, when it replies to you very quick. And bear in mind as well, we're just using the normal version of Claude here. So we're not actually using the extended reasoning mode, and you can switch between these inside the chat. So if you make sure you have Claude 3.7 selected right here, you are going to have to be on the paid plan to use extended. But if it's going to save you time, then it's 100% worth it, right? So if we say inside here, clone Super Mario Bros, it's going off and doing its magic. What you're going to see as well when it's doing the thinking mode is it gives you the reasoning before it starts coding, right? So you can see here, for example, how you get the thought process and the reasoning behind it before it starts going off and coding. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you can select between reasoning and normal mode. So if you just need a quick answer, you go with the default. If you need to code and really build out something with logic, then the best way to do that is using the reasoning mode instead. Now, whilst that's loading in the background, I can show you a few other ways to build stuff. So obviously you can, and obviously once you've done this, so for example, if we go back to Minecraft over here, if you want to get the code for this and just get it hosted, you can just grab the code from this section, download to file, you've got it right there for the HTML ready to go. And if you want to host it, you can just use something like Netlify, add a new site, import an existing project, open up the folder this is stored in. Then we could drag that folder into Netlify drop, and that's how you can host your files. So if we come back to Super Mario Bros over here, we've got that ready to go. It's working beautifully, pretty simple and easy. It genuinely works. Like, wow. Like, these were games that would take like hundreds of hours to build. Now you can just build them out, and your only limit is your imagination here, right? If you wanted to, you can really create like a combination of multiple games. Could be like Sonic. Your only limit is your creativity here. So pretty awesome that you can do this stuff. Let me show you another way that you can build things as well with Claude. So what you can also do is you can get an API key that's available at console.com. And then what you can do from here is if we go over to Visual Studio Code, this is super powerful for building stuff out, right? So if you want to get access to Visual Studio Code, go to code.visualstudio.com, then navigate to Visual Studio. Inside the extension section over here, you want to download Climb. So make sure you have Climb downloaded, which you can see right here. And then once you've done that, we can navigate over to Climb, like you can see. And in your settings, you would just plug in the API key that you got from Anthropic earlier. This supports images, computer use, and prompt caching. And you can also see here, we have some custom instructions. If you want to get all the instructions that I use, just get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Once you've done that, then inside the chat here, we can say, for example, okay, create game mixed with Super Mario Bros. And you can see we have Claude 3.7 Sonnet selected in the drop down here. So you want to make sure you have that selected as your API when you're building this out. Now you can see that the code is being done on the right-hand side. And Claude 3.7 Sonnet is at the point where it can almost code any SaaS tool that you want, right? Within reason. As long as it's fairly simplified, as long as it's not like a huge project that you need to leave code in for, then you can build out all sorts of games, tools, apps, websites, etc. So we'll wait for that to load now. Now, whilst we're waiting for that to code, let me show you another way you can use this. And this is great for building out AI agents. So if we go back over to Chrome now, then we're going to navigate to N8N, and inside N8N, we can start building out agents. So for example, if you wanted to start using AI agents and building them with N8N, you can just set up a chat trigger over here. Then from here, we can add an AI agent connected to the workflow. So let's add AI agent here. Now we can connect Anthropic chat model. Make sure that you have your workspace updated. So we're going to select 1.81 and then save the changes on the N8N workspace. It will take a couple of minutes for that to load. Now we're back in the game. It's online. Let's refresh the workflow. And we're just going to add a chat model as open router. Inside open router, we'll type in Claude. And then if we scroll down here, we've got access to Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And that's how you can build AI agents with Open Router. And we'll just keep everything for default for now. And then if we click on Open Chat and we'll just say, are you working? That's working perfectly. So you can see it says, yes, I'm working. I'm ready to assist you. How can I help you today? So what we can do inside here now is inside the Add Options section, we're going to select System Message. And I'm going to say, you are a helpful email assistant, right? And then if we add a new tool here and we'll select Gmail, we're going to set everything automatic. So you can let the model define this parameter, as you can see. And now this is all set up. Just make sure you have your credentials here. But this is all set up and ready to go for us to start sending emails. And so if we zoom out here and we'll go inside the chat and we'll say, okay, send an email to gmail.com about the SEO party happening on Sunday. You see the AI agent is running now. Now it's using Gmail to send the email and it's fired that off, right? And it says, I've sent an email to juliangoldie@gmail.com about the SEO party happening on Sunday. If we open up Gmail, we've got the email ready to go. Let's just check my sent emails here. And you can see the sent email from me at juliangoldie.com to juliangoldie@gmail.com saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know about the SEO party happening this Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you there. Best regards. Boom. And so we've got this assistant that can now just send emails on our behalf. And so that's really how easy it is to build out AI agents, really easy stuff. We can also, for example, set up a HTTP request over here. Then I can plug in my website, like I will say, tell me about Goldie.com. That's running the AI agent over here. Now it's using the HTTP request and it's scraping live web data as a tool to get information from there. And if we go to the response from HTTPS, you can see that we got all the information from the live web page here. So this is the actual HTML from the website. And then you can save this. What you can also do here is if you make this active, right? So if you click on act, you can also share this with your team if you want like an email assistant, someone in your team needs to use, for example, AI, etc. Then you can get that set up pretty easily. And yeah, super powerful stuff, very easy to do. Now, if we come back to Visual Studio Code, we now have the game set up. That cost us $1.77, and you can see it's now completed the task. So if we scroll down, one of the cool things about using Klein with Claude 3.5 Sonnet is that it can actually preview it inside the chat, right? So you can see here it's like previewing the image, showing us what it looks like, etc. If we click on that, we can see a full screen here as well. And then if we want to open this up, we can just run the command. That's going to open it up. We can choose whether we want to be Mario or Sonic. Now, if you want a more linear process for using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, we can go into make.com and you can build workflows inside the scenario section over here. So if you just click on create scenario, you can create loads of cool stuff. Now, if we want to create a new workflow, what we can do is click on create scenario inside. Make is good. It's a good alternative, but it's more simplistic than NA10, but you can still use it for like very linear workflows. So for example, if we say, okay, watch new rows, we'll find a spreadsheet from our Google Drive connection, and then we'll choose the sheet as well to take it from. We can just choose to start the automation manually, just to keep it simple and easy. So for example, Walnut Creek SEO, everyone's searching for that, of course. And then we're going to select open router over here, create a chat completion. Inside the model section, we'll choose Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And inside the messages section, we're going to say, okay, write a blog about, and then we'll insert the keyword from stage 1. And then you can actually just send that to WordPress, create a post. We'll send that to our WordPress website. And then just to keep things simple, we use the title as a keyword, the content as the choices from Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Inside the content, type we'll select as blogs, type we'll select as posts, slug we can put the keyword as well, and status we'll just put as draft. Keep it simple. You don't want to publish this without quality control on it first. Now we're going to hit run once. That's going to send the keyword over to Claude 3.7 Sonnet, as you can see, and that's just loading gradually. Now, if we set up a new chat inside Client as well, and from here, what we're going to do is we're going to say create an SEO cost calculator for this website using Claude 3.7 Sonnet. You can build websites out basically with Client and AI as well. So it's going to start going off and doing this magic. In the meantime, let's check back on make.com. We've got the automation ready to go. Let's log in to our WordPress and see what it's like. And if we go to the post section over here, we have the blog post with the keyword and the content inside here. One of the best things you could do inside the prompt, you can see here how it's written in Markdown. Just ask inside make.com, inside the prompt section, to create this in format. All right, if we hit save and then we run that again, that's now being created. And then if we go over to posts, refresh this, we have the new blog ready to go. And you can see now it's actually added a lot more information to the page, right? So for example, it's got a published section, it's highlighted relevant parts of the content, it's written a really long blog, and then it's even added like these nicely designed blocks, right? And if we open up the page, we'll check the word count on that bad boy, 158 word blog in one prompt. Obviously that's not the way to write blogs, but you get the point. Like, you can just format the blog and make it a lot nicer. So just to recap, I've shown you how to build anything with AI agents inside NA10, and also how to build these automations and automate basically anything you want inside make.com. You've also learned how to build games and apps directly inside Claude, inside the artifact section, and then you can see how to build websites pretty quickly using this process right here. And also, if you want to preview any part of the website whilst it's loading, so you can see here, we just said, let me preview the homepage now. It will just scroll through the page and then you can see, okay, where we're at and what it looks like so far. And then if you don't like it, you can say, I made the design more modern, etc. But it's pretty simple and easy to get that done. And that's the AI agent just browsing your website in computer use. Pretty crazy. So thanks so much for watching. If you want all of my best SOPs, including our best make automations, we have tons of stuff on like how to set up. You can see we have tons of like different automations. We actually have 5 different make.com templates inside our AI Profit Boardroom, along with a full SOP and the setup instructions and custom instructions for using Klein. On top of that, we have loads of agentic workflows and templates that you can use with NA10. So you can see here, for example, like a calendar agent, Gmail agent, WordPress agent, etc. And the classroom comes with all of my best courses and trainings on how to do email and content automation, video automation, AI agents, web scraping, AI SEO automation, and Q&A call recordings, along with a crash course to save you hundreds of hours of AI. And inside the community, we have nearly 200 members now. So if you need help, you can just post in the community and you can ask 200 people all interested in the same things as you, so you can blast through any problems that you have. On top of that, there are also weekly Q&A calls. So if you sign up, you can also jump on Q&A calls with me, ask me any questions. And yeah, it's just an awesome community. Trying to build the best with pretty much everything you've ever needed to know when it comes to AI. So link in the comments description for that. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to get that. Link in the comments description. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you'll get a custom tailored plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits from your website. You will discover the secrets of SEO link building. Or answer any questions. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Claude 3.7 versus Grok 3 versus ChatGPT versus DeepSeek. Who wins? Let's get straight into it. The first prompt that we're going to do is we're going to be testing each of these models and their performance for content writing. So we're going to plug this into Claude. Then we'll do the same inside ChatGPT. We'll do the same in Grok. We'll just go with the normal mode in each of these for now because content writing is much better. And also DeepSeek, we'll stick with DeepSeek version 3 for creating content. Now, one of the first things that I've noticed about Claude 3.7 since it's come out is how long the context of the content can be, right? So I can see this is still being written, it's still being created, but the amount of content that Claude creates in one single prompt is absolutely wild. It tends to give really comprehensive responses, plus the quality of writing is really good too. If we have a look at ChatGPT, it's not doing too badly as well. I would actually say the formatting straight off the bat is a bit easier to read than Claude. So you can see here, for example, if you look at the first paragraph, it's just way too long. Nobody likes walls of text, honestly. And there'll be someone in the YouTube comments who tells me they like wall of text, but I don't believe them. So if we actually check the length of the content here, we've got 2,500 words in one single prompt, right? That is unbelievable. If you go onto ChatGPT, we've got 900 words, so less than 50% of Claude's, and it didn't do what we asked it to do. So we did ask it to write a 2,000 word article. Let's have a look at Grok. Came back to us with a 1,500 word article, and then DeepSeek is still creating the content, but it's on the conclusion now. So it seems to be the slowest in terms of speed, definitely lagging behind Claude and other tools, and it's come out at 1,598. So if I had to grade them all in terms of compliant to the prompt, which is write a 2,000 word article on the future of AI agents, Claude has won that hands down, creating a 2,500 word article. Grok has come back to us with a 1,500 word one, DeepSeek 1,500 words, and then ChatGPT came in last. Now, the formatting of the content is nicer inside ChatGPT, but that's not what we're looking at. We're grading it for, can it follow the prompt, long form article generation? If I wanted it to generate better formatted articles, I would give more in-depth descriptions. So for example, this is an article generated with Claude earlier today, and the content is formatted really nicely. Plus the content is super interesting, great hooks, etc. But really, I would still say it's the best for humanization in general, but for also the length of the content, Claude seems to win. So let's keep it going now. We'll start a new chat. And what we're going to switch to now is inside Claude 3.7 Sonnet. If you scroll down and then go to extended, this is available on the premium plan. We can say clone Super Mario Bros. And that will start generating the code for you. Now that usually takes about 10 minutes, I would say, to generate the code. So I'm actually going to go over to the clone that I created yesterday, which you can see right here. And you can see we have created our Super Mario Bros. Clone. It was pretty simple to create and works really nicely. Even got like a nice UI there. And you see the scoreboard, plus you can switch between the arrow keys. You can actually control it with the mouse as well, like you can see, or the keyboard. and you can jump up like that too. Pretty cool stuff. Now let's do the same inside Grok. So open up a new chat here. And we're going to switch to thinking mode, and then we'll also do the same inside DeepSeek, and we'll use DeepSeek R1 for this because it's more of a coding problem which requires more reasoning abilities, and the same inside ChatGPT. We're going to switch over to O3 Mini High, and we'll use that to start generating this. Now, one of the things, first of all, you're going to notice, especially with Grok and ChatGPT, is that you don't get this artifacts feature, right? So you can't just preview the game. If I ask it to create Mario Bros, create a tool or a website or an app inside Claude, it's so easy just to preview it directly inside the same chat that we did the prompt, right? And that's amazing because then you don't have to go and host it separately, etc. If you get the code from Grok, you can't preview it inside the chat. You have to wait for it to generate. Now, we've already got the results back from ChatGPT O3 Mini High. This is the best it could do. So you say clone Super Mario Bros. And this is pretty ambiguous. There's also the potential issue of copyright. It's still a bit unclear. It thought about it for a while. As I need to balance legal considerations with clear, helpful instructions. My goal is to emphasize creating a Mario-like platformer, not actually replicating the game or its assets, right? And so we just didn't bother creating it. It actually just gave us this. It was like, mate, just go off by yourself, figure it out, right? Just start by choosing a game engine. That's all you do, guys. It's not very useful to, I would say, by far. ChatGPT is coming in last again right there. And that's on the most powerful version of this, right? So really poor output. I'm very disappointed in ChatGPT so far. Claude has done an amazing job. Let's check now. We've got the Python code back from Grok 3. Let's test this out. So you can just paste the code in here from Python, click run over here, and that will start generating and loading up the Python code. So it's really simple to do this. But actually, if we have a look what we've got here, all we've got is a red dot on a screen, right? Not very good. Terrible, if you ask me. If you compare side by side the outputs that you get from Grok versus the outputs and quality you get from Claude 3.5 Sonnet with the exact same prompt, it's crazy the difference, right? Like, it's not even comparable. You want a red dot or you want the actual thing you asked for? And this just shows you how superior Claude is to everything else on the market. Like, you just can't beat that. It's undeniably good. If you go into DeepSeek now, it's giving us a code, but I'm just going to say, can you give this to me in HTML, CSS, JS? Because it's giving us loads of different code that seems a bit messy to install. But so far, I would say Claude is winning. Grok didn't really create anything but a red dot on a screen in Python. ChatGPT refused to do it and didn't even attempt to create the code and just said, yeah, if you want to do that, mate, just go off and start by choosing the game engine, sketch your level designs, break down the player movement. It's, yeah, of course, but we just want you to code it. That's it, simple as. And so the other thing is not just that this can code in a superior way, but also that it can understand your instructions. So the more skill something has, and this is the same with people or tools or whatever, the less instructions and the more general you can be with the prompt, like this. And literally that's all we typed inside the chat. The less intelligent and the less powerful the tool is, the more instructions you have to give. So really on an intelligence level, Grok and ChatGPT did a pretty poor job there. So now we're getting the HTML back from DeepSeek R1, and we'll test this out in a second. I will say, first of all, that Claude is a lot faster when it comes to generating the content, but also that it gives better responses. It tends to be smarter, but we'll run through a few other reasoning methods later on in this video. So whilst we're waiting for DeepSeek R1 to do its magic right there, so we've got the output back from DeepSeek R1, like it's broken down the key features, what to enhance, the controls, you can improve this, blah, blah, blah. So let's see what it actually does and what it comes back with. And it just says game over just by walking around. Let's see if we can move up and down here. We can jump, which is great. Super basic, right? You can't do much of that. Again, if you compare side by side, the output from DeepSeek here versus the output from Claude, it's just not even comparable, right? Like, you've got the depth of it's the colors, the usability, the way that it's designed, 10 times better on Claude. So I would still say that DeepSeek R1 beat Grok in terms of the outputs because it's not just a red dot, and ChatGPT came in last there. All right, so Claude, then DeepSeek, then Grok, then ChatGPT. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This is going to be a reasoning challenge. This was a great one that I actually learned on a live stream that I was doing lately when Claude first came out. Shout out to Satori, who basically offered up this reasoning challenge, right? And basically we're going to say there is a tree on the other side of a river in winter. How can I pick an apple? So we're going to take this prompt like, and the main goal of this is to figure out, okay, how good is each model for logical reasoning? Basically because apples don't grow in winter on trees. All right, so we really want to see the creativity of problem solving when it comes to these tools. So we're going to use extended reasoning mode on Claude. We'll do the same on DeepSeek. Then we're going to go over to Grok using the think mode, and then a new chat inside ChatGPT 03 mini. ChatGPT really needs to prove itself right here. I don't know what's going to happen next. We will compare in the leaderboard at the end of the video, so you can compare which models are the best and for what. But it's breaking down the riddle, it's figuring it out. Let's see what we've got back. So Claude is super fast as well. Whilst ChatGPT is still thinking, Claude has already done this magic. DeepSeek is still thinking, Grok is still thinking. Claude is superior in speed as well versus all the other models that I've seen. So it says there's a few challenges with this scenario. So number one, the river creates a physical barrier between you and the tree, but most importantly, it's figured out, okay, it's winter. So apple trees don't typically bear fruit in winter. It says you can cross the river if it's frozen solid if you want. However, you're likely to find no apples as apple trees drop their fruit in fall and remain dormant through winter. Maybe this tree is special, or it's in a greenhouse or something like that, but there's a low chance of this actually being in. So it's figured out, it's smart enough to know, okay, apple trees don't have apples in winter. DeepSeek has totally failed. So it thought for 0 seconds, it's like the server is busy. So that's already a fail from DeepSeek. We've got the results back from Grok. So it's asked us to assess a river, that makes sense. Cross the river, okay, good detailed instructions there. Pick and reach the tree, and it's actually figured out that even though it's winter and apple trees typically don't bear fruit at this time, the scenario suggests apples are present, perhaps left over from fall or part of a hypothetical setup. So it's smart enough to figure that out as well. So I'm going to say that if I look at all of these challenges, I would say that Grok has probably done really well there because it's given us step-by-step instructions. It's reasoned a lot more with the riddle, right? Whereas Claude hasn't done that so much. If we have a look at ChatGPT, it says apple trees rarely bear fruit in winter, so you might be chasing a ghost. Quick steps, here's what to do. Check the ice is safe to walk on, inspect the tree, cross with caution. And keep your eyes open and your safety in check. Sometimes the answer is about timing as much as action. I would say that Claude and ChatGPT are drawing in terms of reasoning. Grok absolutely smashed it. DeepSeek totally failed and didn't even give us an answer, right? If we were relying on this for reasoning, it'd be quite frustrating during workflow to see this happen. So wouldn't recommend DeepSeek R1 for reasoning if it's going to let you down like that. Next up, what we're going to do now is a deep search. So we're going to say find the latest benchmarks comparing Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Grok 3, ChatGPT 4, and DeepSeek. Summarize the key findings, plus make it as beautiful a report as you can. All right. Now, a lot of you will know that Claude doesn't have access to the internet. It was actually only updated to October 2024 with the latest model 3.7. So we're going to use Perplexity for this. All right, and if you go to your settings, you can select your AI model as Claude 3.7 Sonnet on the Pro. So let's get that set up. We'll do the same on ChatGPT. I'm just going to go with 04 for now because it's not really requiring much reasoning, but we can do the search method. We can use deep research as well, which is rolled out to a lot of people, but it's going to take 30 minutes for the response, and I just don't fancy that. So then we're going to switch on search over here inside DeepSeek as well and see what we get back. I have a feeling DeepSeek's really going to fail this because it's been really poor since it blew up, right? It's just been so slow to respond. It fails a lot of times. You can see here, due to technical issues, the search service is temporarily unavailable. What we can do though, is if we go back to Perplexity and then we'll select reasoning with R1. And you know what? We could do the same with 03 mini as well, just to give ChatGPT a task, and we'll see what we get back. Grok already has access to the internet. It can create really nice reports like you can see. This is the report from Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It's pretty good. I like the fact that it's pretty decent. The actual response from Grok is really good. Like it's got the key points, benchmark summaries. It's analyzed all the latest benchmarks right here. For example, Claude 3.7 leads with science, coding, unique features. I don't see a big difference between them, but I do think that the search method inside Grok is really good because you got that deep search method and breaks it down into tables. It's very comprehensive. Quite a long report there. Perplexity, pretty good. We could use the deep search feature in there as well if we wanted to, but again, that would take quite a while. From what I can see though, these are all really good options, right? I think it's a draw between all. I don't see a massive difference between each one. I would say that Grok's report is more comprehensive, so maybe it's got the edge, but you could always go inside Perplexity and then switch to deep research, and with deep research you can get really deep answers just like Grok. So I'd say it's a draw for each. I don't see any particular model being better than others. Now let's roll on to a classic. Moving forward, I'll just switch to Perplexity because the main DeepSeek UI is not working at all. So we're going to switch to reasoning R1, and I'm going to say create a self-playing snake game using HTML with a simple GUI. We'll do the same inside ChatGPT o3 mini, switch off the search, Claude 2, and we're going to switch to extended thinking mode, and then Grok as well with think mode enabled. So ChatGPT o3 mini high has actually come back to us faster than any other model. Same with DeepSeek. Claude is still creating it, and also Grok is still creating it. So let's test these out. We're going to go on liveweave.com. This is a great place to preview HTML code that you create with AI. So we'll plug this in, and that is a self-playing game. So that is the one from ChatGPT. I'm going to say great job. Like, it's doing a really good job there. It's done it perfectly. Let's test it out from Perplexity now. So we're going to plug in the HTML over here. Honestly, that looks even better, right? Nicer than ChatGPT's. It's working perfectly, but you can see a big problem here. So it's actually resetting every time it hits a wall. So look at that. It just resets back to one block. The model from ChatGPT is already better than DeepSeek's. Let's test out Grok. So we've got the HTML here. Let's plug that in. Then we've got the JS over here, and there's no CSS, must be in the HTML. That is a little bit laggier, but it seems to be working. It's not just running into walls. It's just a little bit slower and less smooth, right, versus ChatGPT. If you look, so this is Grok's output, and it's a little bit slower, it's a little bit laggy, etc. Inside, this is ChatGPT's, and it looks a lot smoother. It's a lot nicer to look at. And let's have a look. So we've got Claude now as well, and it's still coding out. So that's taken quite a while to code. Going to be 100% honest with you. Surprised me how slow it is. I'm expecting big things if this comes back to us with something good. So far, we have ChatGPT's output winning, Grok in second place, DeepSeek R1 behind that, but it's just not really working. It resets every minute. And now we have the output from Claude. Now, there's quite a big difference here. So if we actually open this up, and I'll compare it versus the second best output, which is ChatGPT, look at the difference in UI, right? The UI is much nicer on this side versus ChatGPT's. Let's hit start AI now, and the AI can just play with itself, and you can see that's working beautifully. It's got a nice little title at the top. It's got all these different options, so you can reset the game, stop the AI, manual play. You can change the speed so we can make it faster if we want. Like, the way that Claude has really figured out, okay, we want to make it more entertaining, let's make it faster. We can slow it down if we want. We can manually play this if we want, etc. This is way better than anything else that the AIs have coded. So Claude is winning by a long way, with ChatGPT coming in second. So next up, we're going to test building out websites. So I'm going to say inside the prompt, create a sleek, conversion-focused landing page for Goldie Agency's AI automation dashboard. The design should be modern, fast loading, and highlight the benefits of AI-powered business automation with all of these options, right? So we're going to hit enter. We'll do the same inside Grok, ChatGPT, and also DeepSeek, reasoning R1. Now, if you do want the prompts from today, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. If you go to the S&P section, then go to Claude versus Grok versus ChatGPT versus DeepSeek, you'll find all the prompts from today. Along with that, I'm also going to give you access to my Prompt Forge AI. This is a private GPT custom built for creating prompts. You can see, for example, all the prompts from today we actually generated using this custom GPT, super powerful. It's great for prompting other tools as well. And the link to that is inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. So let's come back to the prompts now. Let's see what we've got. Look at that. That is beautiful. I'm really liking that design. Looks great. Really cool. Website ready to go. It's perfect. You just can't beat that. Look at the design, the FAQs, really cool stuff. Nice CTAs, nice colors. It's written the content as well. Literally all we did was say create this, and it just generated a whole website for us. If we wanted to actually host the code, we can just grab the HTML from this section, put it onto Netlify, boom shakalaka, we're ready to go. But that looks fantastic, doesn't it? We could even, for example, give it the image URLs, and then it could insert the testimonials and everything else inside this content, but it looks awesome. Really nice. For a first prompt, perfect. All right, let's have a look inside Grok. So Grok actually didn't create the HTML for us, which is not ideal. We do want it to figure that out straight away, just like Claude has, and it's failed in that respect, right? So also the copywriting is not as nice, but just the fact that it doesn't code the website, not great at all. If you come on to Chat, it's done the same and totally failed. So you got to bear in mind here, a lot of these AIs, even though they're supposed to be super smart, they can't figure out what you're trying to do here. So if we say create a landing page, Claude's like smart enough to know, okay, I've got to code something. I've got to create something amazing here. ChatGPT failed. Grok failed. Let's have a look at DeepSeek. Was pretty bad. If you have a look at this, like it created some code, but that's just a CTA section. It doesn't actually have the rest of the code for the prompt. Now, you could argue, okay, you should have said HTML inside the prompt, but that's the whole point, is to figure out, okay, can these AI models figure out what a search intent is here, right? Because if I have to prompt it and spell everything out and think about that every time, that's a lot of mental energy and friction for me as a user, which is not ideal. Whereas you can see the difference here in quality and class. Claude just figures it out. ChatGPT, Grok, and DeepSeek just don't get it at all. And that's the biggest difference here. You can tell which one is the latest model. Plus all the content itself is written really nicely and it's done things exactly how we want it. So now I want to say, create an AI-powered audit tool for Goldie agency that analyzes the business operations and suggests automations in HTML. And basically, we've got some ideas right here on how to implement that. So like users enter their business details, the AI analyzes responses and generates a personalized automation plan, generates a report with action steps, and there's a CTA to book a call for implementation in HTML format. So we're going to plug this in to each model and just see how good is it for building apps, and hopefully these models actually get it this time round. What blows me away about all of this is how quickly things change, right? So for example, a few weeks ago DeepSeek R1 was undeniably the best and most exciting tool on the market. But you look today, Grok was winning last week and Claude is already smashing it, and it's only been out for 24 hours. So you got to bear in mind here, things change and move so quickly. You have to understand that if the market is changing that quickly, then you have to change quickly too. You have to constantly adapt and be flexible to everything that's going on in the market right now. So we've got the content back from ChatGPT Mini High. Let's see how it performs. And that's the HTML. It hasn't given us any CSS, which is a big problem. So if you actually go on live, you check it out, it looks terrible. I just wouldn't publish that. It looks so basic and boring. ChatGPT is not doing a great job there. I don't know if they've really toned down the models or something like that, but it's not as impressive as it once seemed to be. Let's plug in the HTML from DeepSeek. DeepSeek actually does a better job than ChatGPT in terms of UI. This looks slightly nicer. A bit of color in the CTA button. Not great. Grok is still coming back to us. Claude has finished coding it now, and that's exactly what we want. Again, nicely designed landing page, information about who we are, clear workflow analysis and what we need to do with a report. It blows everything out the water. Compare DeepSeek, which is the code here, versus Claude here. Exactly the same prompt, totally different outputs. Why is that? It's because of the intelligence of the model, right? It's the power of the model. Imagine if you were coding, how much of a different output you're going to get from Claude versus DeepSeek when it comes to building this stuff. So if we click on the drop down, let's just test this out. The drop down is working nicely. We've put in the company name. Pretty cool stuff. Grok has come back to us now. Let's test this out. Hopefully Grok has done a better job. It's better than DeepSeek, so you've actually got more fields here, more options, etc. But it's just nowhere near as good as Claude. Gives us a 4-step workflow for getting the report. Nicely designed, information about who we are, etc. Grok probably came in second there, but quite far behind. DeepSeek R1 probably came in third, and then ChatGPT was super basic, right? All right, so just to recap then, who wins? Claude 3.7 versus Grok versus ChatGPT versus DeepSeek. So round number one, the clear winner was Claude 3.7. It's the best for long form content. It created 2,500 words, and the task was actually to write a 2,000 word article. All the other AIs couldn't manage 2,000 words, but Grok and DeepSeek were fairly behind. Right? For coding, Super Mario clone, Claude 3.7 actually coded a fully working game with the best graphics and UI. DeepSeek created a playable but simple one. Grok just created a red dot, and then ChatGPT refused to generate it. So Claude won again. So for writing and for coding, Claude seems to be winning. For logical reasoning, Grok actually came out the best when it was answering riddles, and it gave us the best logical breakdown, with DeepSeek coming in last. For web research, Grok actually won with the most detailed and well-structured report, and DeepSeek came in last again, so Grok is the best for web research. For a self-playing snake game, Claude won by a long way, with features like speed control plus nice UI. And for the final round, for creating landing pages, Claude won by a long way, with the rest just having a basic sort of UI or not coding at all. So overall, Claude 3.7 is the best so far. The final standards are here, with 5 wins versus 2 wins versus 1 win, and 0 wins for DeepSeek, sadly. So key takeaways here. Claude 3.7 dominates in long form content, coding and web design. Grok is great for reasoning and research. ChatGPT is decent but underwhelming in complex tasks, and DeepSeek struggled across the board. So if you want the best AI for content coding and automation, bearing in mind that Claude 3.7 is free, Claude 3.7 is the clear winner. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all of the prompts from today, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. This also comes with all of my best video trainings, these tools, tips, tutorials, etc. on how to grow your business and save hundreds of hours and make money with AI. You'll get access to all of my prompts, including like NA10 AI agents. We've got a 3.5-hour course on DeepSeek, all the prompts plus a tool I use to make the prompts today. And additionally, if you have any questions, if you're struggling with anything, we have 202 members inside here, all working towards the same goals so that you can get help. You can see it's a very active community, so tons of people in there happy to help you. And on top of that, you get weekly Q&A calls. So you can jump on the weekly Q&A calls with me. These actually get recorded if you can't jump on the live ones. You can watch them back inside the Q&A recording section, but it is an amazing community. Would definitely recommend joining before the prices go up. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot on this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you get a custom tailored link building plan to generate more leads, sales, and profits. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building, answer questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. So Claude 3.7 Sonnet has just been announced. This is the most intelligent model from date. I've already tested it and actually created an AI avatar video out of it today. So you can see the video right here. This was generated with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and this was just announced. Super impressed with the results from it so far. Looks outstanding. And today I'm going to show you exactly what it works, what it means, how it's changed things, what you can do with it, and we'll be just testing out step by step together. All right. So basically, if you want to understand, okay, what can this do and how does it work? So one of the groundbreaking things about this is that you can do two things at once. So like the human brain, where, for example, you can make split decisions, but you also have another thinking mode, which is where you can deep think, right? You can think about things deeply, or you can answer people's questions like super fast. And that's essentially what you can do with Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Now, if you want to understand the benchmarks and what this means for you and how everything is going to change, let's view the benchmarks right here. So this is the update from Anthropic, and you can see here they said Claude 3.7 Sonnet is a significant upgrade over its predecessor, right? Now, honestly, up to yesterday, or even up to less than 24 hours ago, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the previous model, was the best out there for human writing, okay? And for coding, to be honest. But now, it's just leveled up again, and it's blowing everyone out the water. I'll show you exactly what I mean and how to code with it, plus how to build AI agents with it later today. If you want the SOPs and all the prompts from today as well, you'll get that inside the comments description, inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But let's keep it popping now. So Rodrigo says, can you do a content writing example, article, or example, or does this not do that particular task any better than post? All right, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one, Rodrigo, mate. All right, so let's open up Claude. This is exactly what I wanted to show you straight off the bat. Right? For example, let me show you what we created actually earlier today. This is the script that I've created for Claude 3.5 Sonnet. All right. Now, if I ask for Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So if we ask like Claude 3.5 Sonnet normally to generate a script like this, it's going to generate about 400 to 500 words at a time. If we ask Claude 3.7 Sonnet to generate, the content itself is not that much different, but it's much longer because Claude 3.7 Sonnet has a token context, which is absolutely redonkulous. All right. For example, let me pull this up right now. For example, we've got this content and that was coming out at 2,500 words. Let me show you what I mean. If we open up a new window here and we'll select 3.7 Sonnet, we'll say something like, okay, create a 2,000 word article about AI agents with Claude. So we're going to use a 3.7 Sonnet, the new model. Now, if we actually go over to Claude normally, and we'll go over to more models and then 3.5 Sonnets, the old model, and we'll do exactly the same thing. We'll ask it exactly the same prompt, right? and we'll see which one comes out the best. All right. Now, if we have a look here, you can see that 3.7 Sonnet, so the new version, is just reeling out word count after word count. If we just, you can see it's just creating a super long article. I haven't given it any prompt instructions on how to write it, so don't worry about the style of writing for now. Just focus on the length of the article, right? So, for example, if I want to generate like a 3,000 word script for an AI avatar video, then 3.5 Sonnet is absolutely amazing, right? 3.7 Sonnet, sorry. 3.5 Sonnet usually doesn't generate what I want, okay? So, for example, here you can see it's generated a 1,000 word article on 3.5 Sonnet, the old model. If we go to the new model and we'll check the content length, usually you're going to get a much longer output. All right, so this is 1,689 words. It's almost double, right? It's up by 68% versus the first one. So the old model doesn't generate the word count that you ask it to. The new model generates the word count pretty much where you want it to be. Maybe it's give or take 15%, but we can roll with that, all right? And so what I'm trying to tell you here is if you want to create really long, in-depth articles or YouTube scripts for AI videos, then 3.7 Sonnet changes the game, my friend. And Vic says, yeah, you're right, Vic. Shout out to Vic, who's also in the AI Profit Boardroom and runs it with me. And Echo says, change the style with 3.7. So you can choose the style over here. So for example, let's say we go for, I don't know, Hormozy SEO style. And we'll say, rewrite this map. Then we can select a different writing style down here. Rodrigo says, dude, bonkers. That's what I'm talking about. Vic says, holy smokes, that's wild. Absolutely is wild. And Fantasy Cloud says, hi, I just came in. What's so great about 3.7 Sonnet? Aside from the word count is not enough. All right, I'm glad we agree on that. So let me compare now Grok versus 3.7 Sonnet. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here as well. All right, I'm just going to switch back to normal mode for writing. We're going to select 3.7 Sonnet. If I say build a self-playing snake game, right? Because we all love building snake games, right? That's all AI is used for. If you want to build a better self-playing snake game, then Claude is really good, right? Number one, it's super fast. Number two, when it codes, the UI tends to be better on the games that you build. Number three, you actually get to preview it inside the canvas over here. Now, if we do the exact same prompt inside 3, we'll go on think mode over here and we'll plug that in. Number one, you can't preview the code. So when it's thinking this out, and actually I'm going to use the normal mode because we're using the normal mode on Claude as well. We're not using the reasoning mode yet. But if we compare these, you can see here how, for example, you can preview the code and the actual game itself once that's built out. If we go inside Grok, we get the Python code, but we have to go over to Trinket or Python environment to actually build this out. All right. For example, if we want to run this code from Grok, we do get it back faster than Claude. But if we open this up, it's very basic. Look at the UI, look at the style, look at the design. Not that great, right? It's even super laggy when you're playing this bad boy. If we go over to Claude now and we click on Start AI, you can see that the interface, the user design and everything else is much better, right? It looks a lot nicer. Plus it works perfectly. Plus you got like some controls on here. So if we pull this side by side, and bear in mind, like Grok 3 is the AI that Elon Musk has designed and is sending into space. And then and that's the output that you've got over here. Whereas inside Claude, we've got a better designed UI. You can preview it inside the chat. It works perfectly first time round. And we don't need to go and run like a Python code or anything like that. We can just play it in the canvas, right? This looks 10 times better than this. And so it's the same prompt, but different outputs because we're using a better AI, right? So for coding, Claude is really good. It already was the best, but it's already good now. Cursor have actually just launched it inside their platform. So you can use Claude 3.7 Sonnet inside Cursor if you want to start coding with it straight away. And also for writing content, you get bigger, longer outputs from Claude than any other AI model that I've seen out there. And the quality of Claude's human writing is much, much better. Right? So that's the sort of stuff we're talking about. So for example, Rital says Grok 3 killer. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. All right. And in a world where you can just build self-playing snake games, you only want the best. Let's have a look. So Fantasy Cloud says, do you think there's any advantage if you're trying to rank affiliate articles with Sonnet new version versus other versions? I think it's going to save you time, right? Number one, the content is much more humanized when you're using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And number two, you're going to save a lot of time when you're using these workflows because you can get more tokens and you can create longer outputs quicker, right? Whereas, for example, if you're using something like Grok, you're going to be going back and forth a lot more. And Vic says it even gave you a take control option on Claude. Yeah, let's test this out. I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, look at that. I can control it. So I'm using the keyboard to control it. What a time to be alive, my friends. All right. However you want to play Snake, you don't need the Nokia 3210 anymore. You can just use Snake like this. It's beautiful. Fancy says, what are the benchmarks like? And is Claude better than 03 and 01? All right. Good question. So let's go back to Claude's website over here. And Claude is built by Anthropic, if you didn't know, right? So we need to go to anthropic.com to see the benchmarks. And if you want to check out, okay, what does this mean, etc., then we can scroll down here, go to model details, and you'll see all the benchmarks. Now, there's a few things here as well that most people don't understand about Claude. And it is such an underrated feature that nobody talks about, especially as this upgrades and improves. And what I'm talking about here is the computer use agents that you can actually build directly with Claude, right? For example, this doesn't just have a 200K context window. You actually get Claude computer use inside here as well, which means that it can go off, it can use your browser. And because it's an upgraded version, it's a lot better. Satari says, there's a tree in the other side of the river in winter. How can I pick an apple to challenge its logic and see if it can notice apples don't bloom in winter? All right, let's test this out and then we'll come back to the benchmarks. All right. So let's start a new chat over here and we can choose extended thinking mode, right? So when you're inside Claude, you get two options. You can use the thinking mode, normal, or the extended, which is best for challenges like Satori's, right? For example, there's a tree in the other side of the river in winter. How can I pick an apple? And we'll see what it comes back with. This is the first time I've really tested the thinking mode, so I'm excited to see what we get back here. Let me zoom in for the peeps at home watching on the mobile. Here, so it does say, keep in mind that apple trees don't typically have fruit in winter in most climates. They usually bear fruit from late summer through fall. If you do see apples on the tree in winter, they might be left over from fall and likely won't be in the best condition. All right, so it gives you a few cheeky tips on picking apples from trees across the river, because we all need those in our life. And then it also shows you exactly, okay, in winter, this probably doesn't work so well. So I would say that passes the test pretty nicely, which is pretty cool. And Story says, now try Grok 3. All right, let's do it. So we'll copy that. We'll pop over to Grok 3. We'll make sure we select think mode. All right. And then we'll hit enter. Just for anyone watching at home, I want to be 100% clear with you here, right? Number one, you can get free access to Claude. Number two, it's got a higher context token. And number three, you can preview code inside here, which makes it awesome. Now, if you want to use the extended thinking mode, which already seems to be faster than most other reasoning models I've seen, then you click on the drop down and you make sure you select. Now let's go back to Grok. So Grok's having a good old think about this. We'll see what we get back from here. Dick says, wow, that's what I'm talking about. And Fancy Cloud says, in the benchmarks, they show that it's not beating Grok 3 beta, I think. So it is and it isn't. I'll show you what I mean in a second. But Grok seems to figure this out as well. So it said to pick an apple from the tree on the other side of the river in winter, assess the river's condition. Since it's winter, the river is likely frozen. Assume the river is frozen, solid enough to cross safely. I'm not sure about it. I don't know if I would assume that the river is frozen, solid enough. That's dangerous already. It's some dangerous advice. All right, so you got to test the ice, carefully walk across, and then pick the apple. Now, it doesn't say anything about the tree. It doesn't say anything about the tree in winter. Let me have a look here. So the river is likely frozen. Okay, so it's figured that out. Once on the other side, locate the apple on the tree. Since the problem states there's an apple to pick, assume it's within reach, pick the apple from the tree. Carefully cross the frozen river back. Yeah, so Grok has not figured that out, whereas Claude understands apple trees don't typically have fruit in winter, mate. So what are you doing? Why are you trying to pick trees in the winter? Really good test, Satori. Appreciate that. Right? That's absolutely awesome. Thanks for joining. Let's see. So we got the benchmarks here. All right, let's pull up the benchmarks for you and we'll see what we got back. I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. So there's a good comparison here. So you've got benchmarks with extended thinking and no extended thinking. All right. And then you've got benchmarks versus Grok 3 versus DeepSeek versus OpenAI 03 Mini High, OpenAI 01, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay? And so if we compare these benchmarks side by side, you can see here the Claude 3.5 Sonnet scores 78.2% / 84.8%, right? Whereas, for example, if we go over to Grok 3 Beta scored 80.2%. So it's actually beating 3.7 on that mode. But on the other test, is scoring 84.8% for Claude 3.7 versus Grok 3 beta. So Claude is winning in that respect. Agentic coding, you can't see any benchmarks for extended thinking, but you can see no extended thinking, and it's storming ahead, right? It's 20 or 30% up right there. Agentic tool use, it looks like Claude is smashing it. Multilingual, it seems to be behind OpenAI 01, so something to bear in mind. Visual reasoning, OpenAI 01 is beating it, and Grok 3 is beating it. And then for maths, you can see here the Grok 3 beta doesn't have a score. 3.5 Sonnet is way behind. OpenAI 01 very close, 96.2 versus 96.4. 01 is beating Claude on maths, but yeah, they're the benchmarks. So pretty interesting stuff here. What else we got here? So Script Tech says, will they eventually remove the limits for free users? Usually what they do is I don't think they will. I think they'll always have those limits on, and they'll just keep giving it away for free, just up to a certain limit in tokens. But it's super cheap. Like if it's going to save you 1 or 2 hours, it's 100% worth it, right? Like how much is your time worth? So Thrival Anime says, does thinking mode got any limits? For example, Grok only allows 10 prompts in thinking mode for every 2 hours. Is a good question. I haven't seen any information on, I'm going to have a look here. Have we got any information on the limits? Let's see what we got. Maybe there's some limits on the extended thinking section. Can't see any. I haven't read anything about the limits yet. It's probably posted somewhere, but there's so much information there. So this is a page on extended thinking. So Claude's extended thinking mode, which just came out, and it seems to be performing really well. Vic says, Grok 3 advice making me, yeah, that's it. You got to be careful crossing rivers, peeps, especially in Macedonia or Thailand. All right, what channel? I think Grok 3 is overrated. It failed at install 10 locally for me, and ChatGPT and Claude got it done. There you go. You got Claude 3.7 to help you now. Claude beats Grok on this benchmark. ZYP is made up of Twitter data. I do wonder that. This is one of the things you got to be careful of, right? Like anyone can post on Twitter. So if, for example, you can feed Grok with data from Twitter, and AI is already known for hallucinating, and then it's feeding him information from every Jack Johnson on the street, then how helpful is that? Good test. I agree with you. Satori says, thanks. Logically, one must challenge an AI reasoning using keywords in between to see if it can find much contradiction and come with its own fixed output. Yeah, I think that's great advice. If you don't have a YouTube channel, Satori, like you should share some of this stuff. Maybe you have a YouTube, or maybe you have a blog or something like that, but it sounds cool. Script Tech said you can probably look at payment plans. You can show the limits and stuff there. Let's have a look at that. Where is the pricing? Here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. So it says more usage. Maybe you can't use extended thinking inside the free version. So you see here, it says for free, you can talk to Claude, blah, blah, blah. And then pro, it says more usage than free. Doesn't say specifically what. Organize projects, access Claude, use Claude 3.7 Sonnet with extended thinking mode. Rival says, let's just summarize it. Ask Claude direct. I'm going to do that in a sec. Fancy says, is Claude affordable compared to other models? We got the prices there, right? So it's $18, right? Even if your time is worth now, if it's going to save you 18 hours of writing per month, then isn't it worth it? Right? That just makes total sense to me. I don't know why most, especially if you're a business owner, right? Like you got to invest in yourself and invest in the future of your business and make sure you stay productive. Right? That's your most valuable resource. So I'm going to go and try and ask Claude now, what are the token limits on Claude 3.7 Sonnet? I don't know if it's going to tell me exactly. Yeah, look at that. It doesn't have information. I wonder when it was last updated. That is the limitations. If it's not connected to the internet in real time, then it's not that useful. So for example, you see here, the cutoff date is October 20. So the current version was released in 2025, but it only has information up to 2024. So it's not going to be able to tell you the limits or anything like that. How much is 01, 03? So if you want unlimited on 03, I think I pay $200 a month, something like that. Script Tech says, I'm on the free plan and it shows 3.7 Sonnet, but there's a lock next to it or anything. Maybe it's free for everyone. But of course, yeah, I think you just don't get the extended reasoning from what I can see. And John says, how do you know what LLM to use? Well, I mean, for me, we have this community inside the AI Profit Boardroom where we're constantly sharing information with each other on what's working, what's not, trying to help each other, right? Help each other grow as well. And so that really gives me a good idea. And then for me, I've tested for years now, producing over 1,400 videos about AI. And so I'm constantly testing, okay, what's working, what's not, how can we improve, etc. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, this was pretty cool. So we actually create a YouTube script. I only created this 30 minutes ago, which you can see right here. And this is a script for my next video about Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So that I just plugged into my AI avatar, right? So you can see here, for example, I created a script using Claude and then plugged that into HeyGen, and that's 62% ready already. You can create like really nice scripts from this, but also because it's got such a high token limit, you can create like the whole script in one, not just bit by bit. And Vic says, best community out there, guys. That's what we're talking about. Vic runs the AI Profit Boardroom with me, right? So for example, just a couple of days ago, he posted this update, and this was the third update from us last week. And you can see we already added like 4 new modules. So we're updating this like every single day. In fact, if you go to the classroom inside the SEO section here, you'll find some of my best prompts plus a step-by-step SEO on how to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So if we scroll down, we've got the full SEO like you can see. And then we also have a bunch of prompts that I've tested that work really well. Next up, what I want to show you is exactly how to build AI agents using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and also how to code with it, right? One of the best ways to code. So I'm really excited. Make sure you keep watching. AP says, how much can I use each month? There doesn't seem to be any like open limits, but it seems to do like, I think it'll reset each day. What else we got here? Is there a downside to using the free Claude? A lot of people in Trade, right? If you're not familiar with Trade, essentially Trade is from ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok. And you can code in here like a free version of Cursor. The only downside to using it, number one, is data privacy. So you wouldn't give it any confidential information. Like, you'll be really careful with that. And number two is a lot of people are saying this is not the full power of Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I don't know whether that's true or not. Obviously, I can't see behind the scenes at Trade, but it is interesting to see that typically you do get better outputs inside Klein using 3.5 Sonnet versus using Trade directly, from what I've seen. But that could be anything. And yeah, the things coming in today is going to be wild, my friends. It's going to be wild inside the AI Profit Board. Make sure you join. Link in the comments and description, or just DM me if you watch it on Twitter. I'll send you the link. Pam Anthony says, if Claude integrates image recognition capabilities, it certainly does, my friend. So for example, if you go onto my website, let's say for example like this, and we're like, okay, mate, just go and clone this bad boy. So we're going to take a screenshot, grab that screenshot, copy that image, and then we'll go over to Claude, open up a new chat, and I'm going to say clone this. And essentially you can just clone the website that you want, right? So you can see here how it recognizes the image. And then based on the image, it's going to go off and start coding that for us. I'll come back and show you the output in a minute. It's a great question there. Do you know where you can use O1 and O3 or any other paid LLM for free without limits? Absolutely. So if you go to Visual Studio Code, and then you're going to make sure that you have Klein installed as well inside Visual Studio Code. Then you're going to go over to the API provider and select VS Code LM API. And inside there, you get free access to code with O3 Mini, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and all these other normally paid APIs, right? So you can see them all there. So you can code with all of those for free using Virtual Studio Code. Now, inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well, we actually have a section on how to set that up. So if you go down the left-hand side right here, and you go to Git Copilot agent mode, you'll find the SOP on exactly how to set that up step by step. Because there's a bit of there's something else that you have to set up there. It's a bit more technical, and it comes outside the scope of this video. But yeah, you can get free access to it as well. David says, this model creates unique and cool website designs from scratch, but it uses a lot of tokens. Yeah, absolutely. But you can use something like OpenRouter. OpenRouter is super cheap. So there you go. Tech says Grok has really good image generation. Yeah, for sure. Claude doesn't generate images as far as I'm aware, whereas Grok 3 can. But let's come back to this page that we just built. So I'm just going to publish and copy that bad boy. So this is the cloned website that we did with a screenshot, right? So you can see you would just add your images. So it's create a section for that and that. And yeah, we just cloned the website using Claude 3.7 Sonnet in one screenshot and a prompt. Quen also will introduce their thinking model soon. Yeah, I saw that. I heard that. I really like Quen. It's totally underrated, but he's very powerful. Great for generating images. I think you can generate videos as well last time I tested it. So pretty cool stuff right there. Ask Claude to code a full stack application to test its capabilities. I might do that on another video because I think it's going to take too long to code whilst I'm live. And Jeffrey says, are you giving a promo code for joining your school community? So we got 2 promos on right now, right? If you want to join the SEO Elite Circle, you can actually get a free trial of it. Link in the comments description. You can get a free trial for it. Try it for 7 days. If you like it, stay on. If not, Just make sure you've cancelled your trial before the trial extends. And for the AI Profit Boardroom, so prices are going up next month, right? So this is an early beta price, right? And if you join now, then you'll save a lot of money because next month it's going up. And obviously, we're not going to roll back the prices. There's such a high demand for this stuff, like 196 members. Obviously, we can only have so many people in there to make sure the Q&A sessions are valuable and everything else. So yeah, if you sign up now, you'll save a lot of money and you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Prices are going up next month. And if you sign up now, then the other thing is you'll lock in your legacy price, right? So if you get the early beta price now, then you're locking in that price for lifetime and your prices are never going to go up. You're never going to get charged more than that. So you can grab it right now. Happy to help. Think says why I have 3.7 in this section and you don't. Not sure what you mean. Oh, in Visual Studio. Not sure there. I think I'll show you what I mean. When will the race of the AI? I think it's a never ending battle, right? It's always going on. So let me show you exactly how you can code with this based on what's working for me. So for example, if you go over to Visual Studio Code, the way that you download this is you just go to code.visualstudio.com. And then once you're in there, you're going to see something that looks like this. Now, inside here, you go to extensions, you go to client, install client. All right, make sure you've installed client. And then once you've done that, then you're going to go over to client in the left-hand side, settings, and inside here, we can switch over to, I don't think Anthropic. Oh, look at that. Oh, we've just got Claude 3.7 Sonnet inside Anthropic. That's what we like to see, peeps, all right? I'm pretty excited to test this out. I can't wait, all right? And this supports images, computer use, prompt caption, boom shakalaka. You can also see I've got some instructions on exactly how to set this up. By the way, if you want a tutorial for that, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with the custom instructions and everything else we use. Just go to the SAP section. So if we go to the Visual Studio Code now, and then inside here, we are going to start testing this out. Think says, that's what I told you in caps locks. You savage, Think. You savage. But thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say, okay, okie dokie, peely pokey. All right. Create landing page for. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a prompt that I used to generate the landing page for our AI automation business, right? By the way, if you want AI automation, just book in a call, link in the comments description. You can book in a free AI strategy session. And then from there, we can talk about automating your business with AI. Either way, you get a lot of value from that call. And you'll be speaking to the legendary Vic, who was commenting. I think the stream just cut off for a second there, but we were back in the game anyway, right? And so we're going to take this prompt that we use for AI automation to promote our service. And I'm going to plug that into Visual Studio Code. I've selected Claude 3.7 Sonnet, okay? And then make sure you're on act mode. And inside act mode, we're going to plug this in directly. All right. So let's just grab that. We'll hit enter. And that's going to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. I think I need to set up my Anthropic API key again. So let me just grab that from console. 1 second. Bear with me, peeps. If you're wondering how to get an API key to code with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, it's pretty simple. Just trying to log in here. It's taking its sweet time. Look at that. It's just stuck on loading right there. Let me just test what's happening. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can log in again. Yeah, we're all good on that. Beautiful. All right. Then we're going to grab an API key. So if you want to generate an API key, go to get API keys over here. And then you can just grab one from this section by creating a new key. So let me just do that in the background. And I haven't actually checked out how much it costs for this stuff, but I think it's pretty cheap whenever I've coded in the past. So we're going to plug in the API key right here, and then we're going to retry that. Hopefully that should work. There we go. And Ritzl says, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is available on Perplexity Pro User 2. Oh, let's check that out. Let's have a look. That's awesome, because then you can connect Perplexity to the internet. Right? So great shout there. Thank you for sharing. So let's go on here, and I think if we go to settings inside Perplexity, and then look at that. Yeah, we've got Claude 3.7 Sonnet set up, ready to go. We're going to say, okay, research Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and then it's going to do the research. That's perfect. That's what we're talking about. So it's using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but the benefit of using it inside Perplexity is that it's connected to the internet, right? Makes total sense. That's awesome. All right, cool. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code now. So that's coding out. The cool thing about using 3.7 Sonnet as well is it can preview stuff inside the code. So far, that's cost us 6 cents to build out this project. And it also shows you the context window. So we've got maximum 200K tokens, and we've used 16,600 so far, and then it's building this out. So it's created the index.html, and you can see it's previewing it now, which is beautiful, right? So this thing we were talking about before about browser use, you can see how it's actually created the page right there, and then it's scrolling through the page, right? So I should check if it's working properly by opening it in the browser. This will allow me to verify the layout, etc. That's what it's saying right there. Then it's using the browser. And that's the cool thing about coding with Claude and 3.7 Sonnet, is that it can use the browser, it can preview stuff, it can scroll around in the browser. And this is inside a virtual environment. Also, Claude is really good for writing headlines. I'll show you what I mean. So, for example, if you look at this particular page, we didn't write this, right? And Bold didn't write it when we gave it the topic, but Claude 3.7 Sonnet actually did. So we'll come back to that in a second. Let's see what we got back from Perplexity. So yeah, the hybrid reasoning approach is the biggest difference. So up to, I think it's 200K tokens, as far as I'm aware. Advanced coding, Claude Code is coming out as well. So that's like a command line tool for agentic coding. Pricing, consistent with previous models, it says. Yeah, looking good. Lol, we got a philosophical question here. John says, do you think humanity can exist long-term with superintelligence AI? Absolutely. Like, I don't feel pessimistic about the future. I think that if you're one of the few people watching this channel, then you're staying ahead of the game and you're leading the pack. And so if you're leading the pack, you're always going to be okay. The scary thing is for like the 99% of humans who don't understand AI, have never used it, and don't even know what's coming for them, right? Before it's even come for them. And so that's the biggest difference I see. As long as you're learning and adapting and you're flexible and open to learning this stuff, then you're going to be totally fine. But if you are ignorant to it, or you reject the technology, then you're in big problems, my friend, because it's going to affect your career, it's going to affect your business, your personal growth. That's why we started the AI Profit Boardroom, because we wanted to create a community where we could all learn and grow and share stuff together and be the top 1% that are leading the crowd. That's what it's all about. And there's some awesome people in there. All right, so we're going to run this command now. We'll open it up in the browser, and you can see here, for example, we've got a nice little landing page ready to go. And how easy was that? Let's check the links, make sure that actually goes to the right place. So that's going to book a call with Vic. And again, feel free to book in a call if you're interested in AI automation for your business. Link in the comments description. We can handle basically the way that we do this. And I'll show you what I mean on this landing page. But basically the way that we do this, we call it the AI time machine method. And so basically it's all about scaling your business whilst you sleep. And so essentially when you're doing this, number one, we actually time audit you. So we figure out, okay, where are you spending most of your time? And then we build systems each month based on that, right? And every system we build should save you at least 100 hours per year. And we just implement it all for you. So we figure out, okay, where's the 80-20 of your time going? Number two, okay, how can we implement a new system to save you time? And then number three, we just go off and implement it for you. Right? Really simple system, but we can just go off and do AI automation. Plus, you get all of this cool stuff included as part of the package. So it's pretty nice right there. And if your time is worth like £100 an hour and you save 100 hours, then you're paying $1,500 a month for something that saves you up to £50,000 a month, right? Crazy stuff. All right, cool. So it's looking pretty good. I love the fact that Claude can actually just go off and create stuff. That costs us 55 cents to build out the whole landing page and to preview it using the computer use browser. Absolutely awesome. So just to be clear here, you know how to code with the API, you know how to build games, how to create content, how to generate AI avatars. By the way, we have the prompts and the SOP for this inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to get access to that. But yeah, you know exactly what to do now. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Now, if you want to join the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments in the description. Again, this comes with all this good stuff. 196 members that you can ask inside the community for help. Everyone in this community has one single goal, which is to save time and make money with AI, right? That's the whole goal, the collective goal. And every single person inside this group is working towards that. So it's kind of like, instead of using just one single brain, aka yours, you and your team can join the AI Profit Boardroom, and then you've got 196 people that you can crowdsource and learn from, right? And if we all help each other, then a rising tide lifts all boats. On top of that, you get all of our best for email, social media, video, AI agents, web automation, scraping, AI SEO automation, Q&A call recordings. You can watch back a crash that will literally save you hundreds of hours, even if you implement one of those systems. And then all of our best SOPs. And this whole community gets updated daily. So if you sign up now, you lock in your beta price, you get a lifetime price, and you get an absolute bargain. the prices will increase next month, 100%. And then you can see you get weekly calls with me. So if you join now, then you'll be able to jump on the Q&A with me tomorrow and we can chat about your business and with AI automation. So with that, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to put that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So this will be custom tailored to your business to get you more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors link building and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Claude 3.7 Sonnet just dropped, and it's wild. This is the first AI that can think like a human, sometimes quick, sometimes deep. It's got mind-blowing coding skills that are crushing every other AI on the market. And get this, you can actually see how it thinks. Hey there, if we haven't met already, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, CEO of SEO agency Goldie Agency. While he's helping clients get more leads and customers, I'm here to help you get the latest AI updates. This Anthropic's most powerful AI model ever is the first hybrid reasoning model that thinks like humans do. Want to crush your coding projects in minutes, not hours? Need an AI that can actually use computers like a human? This is a game changer for your business, and I'm breaking it all down right now. Keep watching to see how it works. Let me tell you, this isn't just another AI update. This is something that's going to revolutionize how you work, save you time, and make you money. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it to your advantage. So what makes Claude 3.7 Sonnet so special? Well, it's the first hybrid reasoning model on the market. That means it can think in two different ways. It can give you quick answers like normal, or it can go into an extended thinking mode where it works through problems step by step, just like humans do. This is a massive breakthrough. Think about it like this. Sometimes your brain gives you instant answers, like when someone asks what day it is. Other times, you need to think harder to solve complex problems, like debugging code or solving a tough math problem. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can now do both, giving you quick answers when that's all you need, or taking its time to work through harder problems when required. And here's the crazy part. You can actually see its thinking process. Yes, you can watch as Claude reasons through problems, exploring different angles and approaches. It's like having a window into its brain as it figures things out. This isn't just cool, it helps you trust its answers because you can see exactly how it got there. But that's just the beginning of what this new model can do. I'll be diving deep into all of its capabilities and showing you how to use them to supercharge your business. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the coding abilities. This is where Claude 3.7 Sonnet really shines. According to Anthropic's announcement, it's now the best in class for real-world coding tasks. Companies like Cursor, Cognition, Versal, Replit, and Canva have all tested it and found significant improvements in everything from handling complex code bases to building sophisticated web apps from scratch. One tester said they've seen Claude complete tasks in a single pass that would normally take 45 plus minutes of manual work. Just imagine what that could do for your productivity, whether you're building websites, creating applications, or just need help with some quick scripts. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can handle it all with incredible accuracy, and the improvements don't stop with coding. Claude 3.7 Sonnet also excels at content generation, data analysis, planning, and more. It can understand nuanced instructions and context, recognize and correct its own mistakes, and create sophisticated analysis from complex data. Now, let's talk about one of the most exciting features, computer use. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can actually use computers the way people do. It can look at a screen, move a cursor, click buttons, and type text. This means it can help you automate all kinds of tasks that previously required human intervention. Think about all those repetitive tasks you hate doing: data entry, formatting documents, organizing files. Claude can now handle those for you, freeing up your time for more important work. This is a massive time saver that could literally transform how you run your business. Another amazing capability is visual data extraction. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can extract information from visuals like charts, graphs, and complex diagrams with ease. This makes it perfect for data analytics and data science tasks. No more manually transcribing data from images. Claude can do it for you. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but how much is it going to cost me? Well, here's the deal. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is available on all Claude plans, including Free, Pro, Team, and Enterprise. It's also available on the Anthropic API, Amazon Bedrock, and Google Cloud's Vertex AI. The pricing is the same as previous models, $3 per million input tokens, and $15 per million output tokens. And yes, that includes thinking tokens. So you're not paying extra for that extended thinking capability. Speaking of that extended thinking mode, let's dive deeper into how it works. When you toggle on extended thinking, Claude will spend more time reasoning through problems before giving you an answer. This is particularly useful for complex tasks like math, physics, coding, and following detailed instructions. And here's something really cool. If you're using Claude through the API, you can actually control how much thinking it does. You can set a thinking budget to control precisely how long Claude spends on a problem. This gives you fine-grained control over the trade-off between speed, cost, and quality of answers. Now I want to show you just how powerful this extended thinking capability is with a surprising example. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can play Pokemon. Yes, you heard that right. Anthropic equipped Claude with basic memory, screen pixel input, and function calls to press buttons and navigate around the screen, allowing it to play Pokemon Red continuously. And guess what? It performed amazingly well. Previous versions of Claude couldn't even leave the starting house in the game, but Claude 3.7 Sonnet successfully battled 3 Pokemon gym leaders and won their badges. It was able to try multiple strategies and question its own assumptions, improving as it progressed. Now, you might be thinking, that's cool, but how does playing Pokemon help my business? Well, this demonstrates Claude's ability to maintain focus and accomplish open-ended goals. Exactly the kind of capabilities you need for building AI agents to handle complex business tasks. Let's talk about some specific use cases where Claude 3.7 Sonnet really shines. First up, code generation. As I mentioned earlier, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is state-of-the-art for coding. It can handle tasks across the entire software development lifecycle, from initial planning to bug fixes, maintenance to large refactors. It also supports up to 128K output tokens. That's over 15 times longer than before, which is particularly valuable for rich code generation and planning. This means it can handle much larger and more complex coding tasks without running out of space. Another great use case is advanced chatbots. With enhanced reasoning and a warm human-like tone, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is ideal for chatbots that need to connect data and take action across a variety of systems and tools. You could use it to create customer service chatbots that can actually solve complex problems, not just answer simple questions. It's also perfect for knowledge Q&A. With its large context window and low rates of hallucination, Claude 3.7 Sonnet can answer questions about large knowledge bases, documents, and code bases with impressive accuracy. This makes it great for creating internal knowledge bases or customer-facing FAQ systems. And don't forget about content generation and analysis. Claude 3.7 Sonnet excels at writing and can understand nuance and tone to generate compelling content and analyze existing content on a deeper level. Whether you need blog posts, marketing copy, or detailed reports, Claude has you covered. Now let's address a common concern. Safety. Anthropic has conducted extensive testing and evaluation of Claude 3.7 Sonnet, working with external experts to ensure it meets their standards for safety, security, and reliability. They've made significant improvements in defending against prompt injection attacks, where a malicious third party might try to trick Claude into taking actions you didn't intend. With new training and safeguards, they now prevent these attacks 88% of the time, up from 74% previously. But perhaps most impressively, Claude 3.7 Sonnet makes more nuanced distinctions between harmful and benign requests, reducing unnecessary refusals by 45% compared to its predecessor. This means fewer frustrating "I can't help with that" responses when you're asking for legitimate assistance. Something else worth mentioning is that, along with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, Anthropic is also introducing a command line tool for agentic coding called Claude Code. It's available as a limited research preview and enables developers to delegate substantial engineering tasks to Claude directly from their terminal. Claude Code is an active collaborator that can search and read code, edit files, write and run tests, commit and push code to GitHub, and use command line tools, keeping you in the loop at every step. Early testers have found it incredibly useful for test-driven development, debugging complex issues, and large-scale refactoring. So, how can you start using Claude 3.7 Sonnet right away? It's available now at Claude.ai or through the Anthropic API. If you're interested in building custom AI solutions, you can access it through the Anthropic API, Amazon Bedrock, or Google Cloud's Vertex AI. For business users and consumers who just want to chat with Claude, it's available on Claude.ai for all users across web, iOS, and Android. And remember, it's available on all Claude plans, including the free tier. Now let me share some real-world feedback from companies that have been testing Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Cursor, a coding platform, said, There's a reason Claude is the default model for all Cursor users. Anthropic's approach to building models delivers on real-world tasks. During our extensive testing of Claude 3.7 Sonnet, we've seen significant improvements in the model's ability to understand and handle complex code bases and multi-step tasks. Cognition noted. Claude 3.7 Sonnet has been very impressive at planning code changes. We've seen cases where it's far better than any other model. Even with thinking off, it effectively handles medium-sized features, requiring both front-end and back-end updates. And Versal commented, what impresses us most about Claude 3.7 Sonnet is its instruction following and multi-turn tool calling accuracy. Coupled with its extended output window, 3.7 Sonnet is transformative for code generation and agentic workflows. Let me tell you how I'm already using Claude 3.7 Sonnet in my own business. As an SEO agency owner, I need to create a ton of content, blog posts, website copy, meta descriptions, you name it. Claude 3.7 Sonnet has been a game changer for this. The extended thinking mode lets it create more comprehensive, well-researched content that reads naturally and ranks well. I can give it a topic and it will think through all the angles, consider what users might be searching for, and create content that addresses those needs. I'm also using it for building AI agents. SEO involves a lot of data, keyword research, competitor analysis, backlink profiles, and more. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can analyze this data much more effectively than previous models, spotting trends and opportunities that I might have missed. But enough about me. Let's talk about how you can use Claude 3.7 Sonnet to grow your business, save time, and increase profits. First, identify your repetitive tasks. What are you or your team spending hours on that could potentially be automated? Content creation, data entry, customer support, report generation. These are all prime candidates for Claude to handle. Next, think about your complex problems. Where could you benefit from having an AI assistant that can really think through complicated issues, strategic planning, troubleshooting, product development? Claude's extended thinking mode could be a game changer here. Then consider your coding needs. If you're developing websites, applications, or tools, Claude 3.7 Sonnet's improved coding capabilities could dramatically speed up your development process and reduce bugs. Finally, look at your content needs. Whether it's marketing materials, educational content, or internal documentation, Claude can help you create better content faster. Now let me drop some real action-packed ways to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet that'll blow your competition away. First, turn it into your 24/7 idea machine. Stuck on what to write about, hit Claude with, give me 20 killer blog post ideas about your topic, and boom, instant inspiration without sharing a single piece of customer data. I did this yesterday and got enough content ideas to fill my calendar for months. Second, make Claude your content framework beast. Don't just ask for, write me content. Instead say, create an epic outline for a guide about topic and watch it map out a monster piece of content. Then you add your secret sauce and insider knowledge. This combo is unstoppable. Third, use it as your trend spotting superpower. Having Claude scan through public industry reports saves me hours every week. Just yesterday, it spotted a trend none of my competitors have noticed yet, and we're already building content around it. Fourth, create training systems that will make your team superhuman. I had Claude build out a step-by-step training guide for new team members based on public best practices, and our onboarding time dropped by 70%. That's real money back in your pocket. Fifth, become a productivity machine. I now use Claude to draft email templates, structure my crazy busy calendar, and build better to-do systems. My personal productivity has exploded. Tasks that used to take me all day now happen before lunch. Sixth, level up your communication skills to Jedi status. Need to explain complex ideas to clients? Have Claude help you find simpler ways to communicate big concepts. I use this to explain technical SEO to a non-tech client and they finally got it after months of confusion. Seventh, build decision-making frameworks that will make you look like a genius. I asked Claude to create a framework for evaluating new business opportunities, and now my team thinks I'm some kind of strategic mastermind. And hey, maybe I am. Eighth, turn your boring website copy into conversion gold. Have Claude review your public-facing content and suggest improvements that will make visitors smash that buy button. No need to share any private data, just point it to your public pages. The secret sauce? Keep your sensitive data locked down tight while leveraging Claude's massive brainpower on all the stuff that doesn't need confidentiality. It's like having a team of genius consultants working for you 24/7. And the craziest part? This is just scratching the surface of what's possible. As Claude 3.7 keeps improving, the people who master it now will leave everyone else in the dust. So, thanks for watching. Julie and Goldie reads every comment, so make sure you comment below with how you plan to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet in your business. I'd love to hear your ideas. And if you're looking to really leverage AI to grow your business, I want to invite you to join my AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and the description. It's the best place to scale your business, get more customers, and save hundreds with AI automation. We've got a community of entrepreneurs just like you who are using AI to transform their businesses. Also, if you want to supercharge your SEO results, book a free SEO strategy session with my team. The link is in the comments and description below. We'll help you identify opportunities to grow your traffic and conversions using the latest AI-powered strategies. And don't forget to grab my free AI SEO course and join my community with over 3,600 AI SEOs and access to more than 50 free AI SEO tools. Again, the link is in the comments and description. That's it for today's update on Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest AI developments and learn how to use them to grow your business. And remember, the AI revolution is just beginning. Those who adapt fastest will reap the biggest rewards.